What's good, everybody? It's the chosen one back at it today, and I just want everybody to know and understand and overstand that the most powerful frequency in this universe is what we like to know as sound. Okay, sound is the most powerful frequency in this known universe. Okay, it's basically a universal vibrational pitch. Okay, every object like in this universe, as far as galaxies, as far as stars, planets, asteroids, they all carry their own vibrational pitch because they're all moving at their own particular rate. So what I'm trying to say is, we view sight as the most powerful way of communication, or the most powerful sense that we are given. But what I'm here to say is, that's false. Okay, it's actually sound. It's sound. Okay. Body, when you're talking to somebody or you're communicating with somebody, body language is basically 85 to 90% of what they're trying to tell you. Okay, that's why I try to tell people, don't get so caught up in a person's image. Don't get so caught up in what a person is saying to you. You read them and you know who they really are off of their actions and off of their body language, their body posture and their actions, man. It's really simple. It's really simple, people. So what this video is really going to be about is the power of names. Okay, the power of names and the different vibrational frequencies each name holds. Okay, I'm gonna just break it down category by category. But to the women out there that are getting ready to have newborns, or you just had a newborn, I want to let you women out there know that there's three things that basically decide a child's future right when he's born. Okay, and one of those things is how the stars and planets are aligned around the earth at the moment of that child's birth. The second thing will be that child's DNA. Okay, what kind of family lineage, what his ancestors were involved in, and what kind of energy was passed down to him through his DNA lineage. And the third thing would be the name that you're going to give this child. Okay, like I said, the third factor that decides a child's future and what kind of vibrational frequency that child is going to carry with it for the rest of its life, decides on what name you're going to give that child. Okay, this is usually up to the mother. Okay, now I'm telling you, you have the power to decide what kind of energy and vibrational frequency this child is going to carry out for the rest of its life. Okay, most names have a positive aspect and a negative aspect, because most of these names are ruled by a planetary ruler. RFG, what are you talking about? Okay, let's break down these list the first 7 names here. Right here we have Marcus, Marshawn, Maurice, Marquise, Mario, Marlon, Martha, Marquisha. They all start, most of them, they all start with M-A-R. What is M-A-R? M-A-R, like I said before in a lot of my other videos, that's the Mars energy. That's the god of war. The Mars energy rules masculine energy, conflict, and physical action. Conflict, action, physical action, and it's masculine rule those names. Marcus, Marshawn, Maurice, Marquise, Mario, Marlon, Martha, Marquisha. So these particular individuals with these names are going to be naturally attracted to masculine activities things that, you know, require some kind of conflict, physical conflict, physical action. A lot of these individuals might be involved in sports. A lot of these individuals might catch themselves in heated debates with other people more than other people. You see what I'm saying? Because of the vibrational frequency that their name holds. Because like I said, the prefix MAR is Mars, the god of war. Okay? It's really not hard to understand. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because like I said, there's a positive aspect and a negative aspect to every name, people, to every single name. Okay? But when it comes to these names with the prefix MAR, these people are going to be very drawn to things pertaining to physical action, physical conflict, masculine activities, okay? Sport, whether it be sports, singing, acting, as long as they're being entertained, as long as their mind is being entertained, they're really, you know, going to be satisfied with that, okay? Now, the negative aspect to that would be always getting into some kind of conflict with individuals or some people that you're not supposed to, okay? Whether that be fighting out in the streets, that be arguing constantly with loved ones, or, you know, delving into a life of crime, and a violent one at that, okay? That's the negative aspect of the MAR, of the Mars frequency, okay? Because like I said, when you name your child these 7 names, you're putting them under the doctrine of Mars. Okay, just to let you know that. I mean, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. But like I said, there's a positive aspect and a negative aspect to each planetary ruler. Okay, to each planetary frequency. Okay, when we look at names like Rajan, Ravion, Raylin, and even Ray, what is that tapping into? That's tapping into Ra, R-A, Ra, the sun god, sun energy, someone who's mighty, someone who holds vitality and a large portion of energy, okay? Because that is what R-A rules and represents. So these individuals with names starting with R-A, not all the time, but mostly, they're going to have very, very large, strong bodies. Very large, strong bodies with R-A prefixes. Okay? Rajan, Ravion, Raylin, Ray. Even if they are a little undersized, they're still going to be extremely, extremely strong and hold an extremely a large amount of energy for their size. Because like I said, that prefix R-A goes back to the sun, which is Ra, which represents the center of the solar system, the soul that gives all life to all the planets that we do see. Okay? The negative aspect of that would be basically someone who would consider themselves to be too dominant. You know what I mean? Like somebody who would end up being too controlling. Okay, or too manipulative, okay? Because like I said, there's a positive and negative with each astrological object and aspect, okay? So when we look at the names like Isis, Diana, and Luna, all the women out there named Isis, Diana, and Luna, okay? That name is consisting of moon energy. It consists of moon energy. So these individuals, these women named Isis, Diana, and Luna, they're going to be more feminine than the average female. They're going to be more feminine. They're going to be a little bit more moody, a little bit more sensitive, and a little bit more perceptive. And they're going to be a little bit more able to identify other people's emotions because their name carries moon frequency, moon vibrational pitch, moon vibrational energy. Okay? That is what their name holds. Okay, so when you get names like Terrence or Terra, okay, that goes back to the earth. So most of those people that, you know, are under the Terra name or Terrence, they're usually very calm, very laid back, very goal-oriented individuals, because those characteristics are what earth signs in the zodiac carry. So TER goes back to Terra, what the earth represents. So like I said, if you name your child Terrence or Terra, your child is going to be holding that earth astrological energy of being calm, laid back, cool, and collective for the most part. Okay, like I said, the negative aspects with that would go with the negative aspects of earth signs and astrology. Okay, another name that I think would be kind of interesting is the whole Tyree. Now that is another name that holds Mars energy, but it's to a higher degree. So these individuals named Tyrese and Tyree are gonna hold a lot of Mars energy. They're gonna be really attracted to sports, physical activity, and if they end up getting out of hand and letting their lower self get the best of them, they might become a tyrant. They might become a tyrant and go on a tirade, okay? Because the prefix TYR goes back to Tyrannus, okay? Look up Darth Tyrannus, okay? Everything holds a positive aspect and a negative aspect, okay? Like I said, there's three things that are going to determine the future and the destiny of your newborn child. That's going to be how the stars and planets were aligned around the earth at the moment of its birth, what kind of DNA it has, you know, its family lineage, and then what name you're going to give the child. Those are the three things that determine the child's destiny. And like I said, I'm not talking down on anybody. It's the truth. It is the undeniable truth. And what I want people to understand is any name that is outside of the English doctrine is automatically going to hold higher power and a higher vibrational frequency than the names with English origin. Okay? The names I just listed, those names really don't hold English origin, because I told you what the prefixes represent. Okay? The prefixes go back all the way to Latin. That was before English. Okay? So the names that hold the highest vibrational frequency are going to be the tribal names that go back to Medu Neter. Actually, Medu Neter, which is the original language in Kemet, that to me, that is the most highest vibrational frequency you can get as far as the language. Because when witches and sorcerers get together and put spells on people and individuals, they use the Medu Neter language or they use Latin. Either one of the two. Okay? They don't use English, because English is a backwards bastardized language. Okay? So when you look at names like a Tupac, when you look at names like an Ali, like a Muhammad Ali, what is Ali? That's tapping into your alpha, AL, your alpha energy, your ultimate masculine energy, your alpha. He changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. Ali is the alpha, the opposite of the omega, which is the ultimate masculine deity, the ultimate masculine energy, when he had to go into that boxing ring and fight for what he believed in and to stand up for his rights. You see what I'm saying? The name holds a vibrational pitch and a vibrational frequency. It's not a game. It's not a joke. Mike Tyson, TYS. There goes the tie again. And in your biblical stories, who was Michael? The man who knocked down Set, aka Saturn, Satan, down to this earth was Michael. Michael Jordan. Oh, I'm going to get into that in a later video, because that's really going to blow you guys away. Like I said, I'm going to drop a video on June 19th going into full detail about that. But like I said, Medu Neter and other tribal languages that existed before English, like the indigenous language of the Moors in America, the indigenous language of the Moors in South America, the indigenous language over there in the Asian islands, over there in the Philippines and in Hawaii and in Japan, okay, those names hold a way higher frequency than our English names, okay? Because like I said, the English language is backwards, bastardized, and was a cursed language that our ancestors, the Moors, threw on the Caucasoid people to keep them in a state of depression, okay? So they would never rise up, and so they would stay a slave race. When the blood moon of 1492 hit, and our ancestors denounced the Elohims like idiots, okay, they shot energy on this earth to have the Caucasoids gain consciousness over us. So in 1492, our ancestors lost the rebellion in Spain and were enslaved by their own damn creation, by the Caucasoid race. Okay? And what is that called? That's called karma. That's called karma, okay? So the whole English language was, what I'm saying is the whole English language was meant to be backwards. It was meant to be bastardized, okay? So when you want to name your child, ladies, I'm talking to you in particular. When you want to name your child, and you want your child to be unique, and you want your child to hold very high vibrational energy, okay, and to be some kind of significance and of some kind of importance in this life and to this planet, you really might want to look into the language of Medu Neter, the other tribal languages, and not only Africa but South America, North America, and over there in the Philippine Islands, the Asian islands, over there in the Asia, over there in the Middle East, okay? Because like I said, names basically put deities under the spell of the frequency of that name. Okay, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Now you know good and damn well, we all know a Albert, we all know a Alex, we all know a Alphonse, we all know a Alfred. And because they have that prefix AL, that makes them very big bone, very masculine, dominated, okay? And they always want to be in control and always want to manipulate. I'm serious. There's a positive aspect and a negative aspect to every planetary ruler, every kind of energy in this universe. So like I said, we all know the Alberts, we all know the Alexes, we all know the Alfreds, we all know the Alphonse, who hold like great physical power. They're really big in size usually, and they like to be in control most of the time. You know, sometimes that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Other times it isn't. Just to go ahead and back up what I'm saying, the biggest land animal on this planet is called the what? It's called an elephant, which was really an owlephant, because El, the owl gods, are the El gods. Go look up that prefix where El originated from. El and owl are basically the same thing. Okay? We call our gods Elohims. Now, when we look at the elephant holds great intelligence and holds great size, great power and great size, because the prefix of its name is El, is Elohim, E-L. Come on, people. It's time to start doing your research. It's time to start waking up. And it's time to start living out your spirituality through your through your actions. Okay? If you're not living out what you're learning, if you're not living out what you're learning from channels like this and channels from other people and even channels from master teachers, you're not doing anything. That means that you look at this information and this channel as some form of entertainment when I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help my people, okay? Like I said, one of the most powerful things you can do to a newborn child is to give it a name with some kind of significance, okay? So that basically sums up the information that I had to relay today. Okay, I will be dropping another video on the 16th. No. The 18th and the 19th. Okay, the 18th and the 19th. Stay tuned, people. A lot of people's minds will be blown. I appreciate everybody who supported RFG movement, Atlantean movement. You know, a lot of people want me to touch on this thing that happened in Florida. That's really irrelevant to me because, like I said, that's going to be nothing compared to what happens between the Olympics and the election. So, you know, stay healthy, people. Stay away from people you can't trust. Stay away from people who do not prove to you that they're spiritually conscious through their actions. If people are not proving who they are through their actions, stay away from them. Okay? That'll solve a lot of problems for you. Okay? So, you know, stay on the right track. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. It's Chosen Man. I'm out.